Let's get this centered up here. Okay, I'm going to do my best this time to. What's up, Jake Welsh? What's up, buddy? How's it going? Super Steel Steve. Dude, after sitting in Scott's live on Instagram, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to go live because I want to talk about ZT knives because of Steve, about what I sent you earlier today, and I was like, I don't know if I should post this video on Saturday. I'm nervous about it. And then I get on Instagram. Hey, am I in frame, guys? Am I? Can you guys see like the exterior of my um like the rim of my filming, or is it all black just like my episodes? I don't want to. What's up, everybody? I don't want to do like last week where I was had consumed enough beverages to not realize that the rim of my filming stage was showing on camera. Okay, perfect, all black. Anyways, so earlier today I messaged Super Still Steve and I was like, hey, I've got a video planned for Saturday. By the way, I've got a couple interesting discussion videos planned for Saturday. Um, and one of them is me not being like overly harsh, but talking about my frustrations with zero tolerance knives. The 223 was one of them. Honestly, the little tiny guy, is it the 0022? That was really frustrating to me. And I talk about what has bothered me about zero tolerance lately. And hang on one sec. What has bothered me about I think I just sprayed some of the knives. What's bothered me about zero tolerance lately, and what I want to see. Um, yeah. Hey, Scott. Thanks, man. I don't often do live stuff, and I just kind of do it when I can. So it's always nice to have an opportunity, and tonight I have an opportunity. But anyways, I messaged Steve and I was like, "Do you think this is gonna make people mad?" Like I kind of was a little bit harsh, but I backpedaled a little bit throughout the video and said like, "Hey, now listen, I realize like this is coming from it's coming from a place of love. Like I have a soft spot in my heart for ZT, or where they used to be." And they're no longer there, and I'm frustrated, and I feel like a lot of the community is frustrated, and they're like, "What the heck is going on?" So then I get on Instagram, and Scott Whittington's doing a live feed, and I catch the tail end of it, and everybody's making fun of the 223 and just trashing on it. I'm like, okay, at least there's that, because I use the 223 in the thumbnail as kind of like a WTF. Uh, hey, Mr. Complex over here. How are you doing? Hey, what's up, man? I noticed your comment because you put it in all caps and put some waving emojis in there. Kyle Roberts, MC, why you got to do this to me? Don't you know I got a new job to wake up 5 now for that? Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Neves Knives, Mr. Big Time. Neves likes to call. Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Neves love to refer to me as Mr. Big Time. Mr. Mr. Like I left and came back in a private jet, and I'm suddenly a changed person, and I'm coming back, and shaking hands with all the people that I like I somehow left and turned into it. No, you know what's funny? It nothing. Truthfully, 100%. And I've had a few beverages, but I'm gonna be honest here. Oh man, I'm so glad you make the live stuff. Hey, I watch your guys' videos. I really like your channel, and I say this on a lot of my live feeds. But you need to check out Neves Knives. I know there's only 20 people in here, but you guys need to check them out. They're cool and they're going places, and I guarantee you, mark my words, 1 year from now, you're going to see their channel will have blown up. I guarantee it. Anyways, WTF was I talking about? What was I talking about right before they threw me for a loop here? Boy, I cannot remember. Oh, I was talking about hey, Stassa23, what's up, man? I'm glad you made it in here. I watch your stuff too. So the truth is that between 100 subscribers and 4,000 subscribers or 5,000 subscribers, I don't think there's really that much of a difference. There's more people, I guess, watching, but like it doesn't feel a whole lot different. You're still just talking to a camera about knife. I guess if you're if you're truly, truly in it for the knives, or for the subject of your material, it doesn't change. You just like there's just more people to talk to, and there's just more notifications on your phone from people going, "Hey, this is what I think. Hey, what do you think about this?" Um, I honestly, just from like stepping back and watching and seeing some other YouTubers get to the point where they're like Slicey Dice is a great example. He's about to hit the 10,000 mark, and to me, that's in our world, in the knife world, the 10,000 mark is about where it starts to get serious, because things start to and Neves Knives, you guys, you're going to see this. Things start to take off exponentially. Whereas like you start off with like a sub every other day, and then you start off with then you move to like a couple of subs a day, and then it's like 5 subs a day, and it goes up and up and up and up and up, and then as you're putting out more and more videos, and everything starts to grow exponentially. And I imagine the true takeoff point, I'm guessing just by looking at my analytics, I'm guessing Slicey Dicey is about to become what you guys are cracking jokes at me, Mr. Big Time. I think Slicey Dicey is about to become actually Mr. Big Time as far as our social circle goes. Sorry, weird thing to talk about, but I think about stuff like that. You watch or if you're doing this, if you're being a knife person, a social media person, and a YouTuber person, you constantly are watching your analytics, because you want to find out what people are interested in. Sorry, I've been talking and looking at the corner of my wall and not looking at anything. Sasa 23, I think, kind of, it definitely knows what I'm talking about too. Jake Welch, I transitioned from Nick Shabazz to you. You're my favorite knife channel, and I watch you religiously. That means so much to me. That warms my heart. I'm being 100% serious. Now, you should keep watching Nick Shabazz. I'll say this, and I'll admit this. I am nowhere near the most intelligent knife reviewer out there. You guys kind of know my style. I like to pick things up. I like to look at them. I am spilling my beverage everywhere. I like to pick things up. I like to look at them. I feel things out, and I give you an organic reply. Now, because of that super laid back nature, I do miss things. I do overlook things. People have to correct me in the comment section, and I appreciate that. And I kind of depend on it to evolve as a knife reviewer. So I appreciate that you guys like my stuff. But it's so weird, to say this, or to think about this, but I love that people like my stuff. I hope that people always, like right after you watch my review, I hope you guys always go off to another one of these great channels and watch their take on stuff, and see what other people think, because there's definitely stuff that I overlook. I do. I think Nick Shabazz's review process is a lot more detailed than mine. I think he's carrying these knives and using them for a bunch of different things over multiple days or weeks. My review process involves me carrying it for 1 to 2 days, looking it over, and I take little teeny tiny notes on things. And then what I do is I look at those notes right before I do the video, and then I toss it, and I don't script it. And I try to hit everything, but sometimes I miss stuff, completely. And somebody in the comment section will be like, did you know that there was a left-handed variant of these, or did you know that it was this maker, collaborating with this? And I'm like, oh my God, I messed that up. So I don't get things perfect all the time. Holy cow, we're almost at 30 people in here. But I appreciate that you guys like to watch my stuff anyway. I want to make sure that people know kind of where I'm coming from. Let's see here. I just screamed balls and drink. That's Steve. That's why I like you, man. Oh, Stassi, you don't look at analytics? Oh man, maybe it is just me. Oh, Slicey Dice is in here. What's up? We were just talking about you. I said that, so Neves was making fun of me. He calls me Mr. Big Time all the time. And I said, honestly, like just watching analytics and assuming what happens at certain marks and how like, channels grow exponentially. I said, truthfully, I think Mr. Big Time is Slicey Dicey, because you're almost at that 10,000 mark. And I would imagine stuff takes off after 10,000, or about that mark, the exponential explosion as far as a YouTube channel goes, Let's see here. You still have, you still have that Chavez on loan. You should bust it out. So I just realized I have it right here. It's in the box, and I just forgot to put it on the table. Oh, Look at that. Is that beautiful or what? Guys, this thing is sick. I love this thing. This is super cool. And it's right there kind of in the same ballpark as far as like, like the XM non-flipper, like it kind of has that like glassy smoothness to it. And oh, you know what? This isn't mine. I'm playing with this. I'm gonna set it down. We got it. This is Harry's. I'm not gonna put a single mark on it. We're just gonna be nice and gentle. I'll put it right there where everybody can see it. We'll move the old shaman down here. Let's see here. You have a Chavez and didn't show it on a live. I did. It's right there. It's right there. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Wait, wait. You get more privileges after 10,000? Are you trolling me, or do you really get more privileges? I want to know. Do you get like what do you mean? Like you get like special tickets on airplanes and stuff? Oh, Ducky Shaker says he wanted me to give it to you. Okay, hey, no problem. Just send me your address. I'll get it mailed out tomorrow. Oh, what's up, Jason Daniel Stone? Glad you could make it. So I have a lot of fun. You guys don't really know a lot about me, other than I like knives. I am very enthusiastic, and I have the same itch, the same sickness that many of you guys have. You guys understand my passion because we're all essentially the same people. But I had a lot of fun on the last live. This is going to sound really like self-centered. I had a lot of fun on one of the last live feeds where you guys were asking me questions, and please feel free to ask me about knife stuff. But I mean, like, if you guys have any questions, surrounding knife stuff or branching off of that, I always find it fun to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I want you guys to kind of know who I am. My main passion is definitely folding knives. But there's a whole person talking back here. And if you guys want to know anything, I've got nothing to hide, besides like my personal information. If anybody wants to know my social security number, unfortunately, I'm not going to give that out. Fact, I have nudes from Metal Complex. Well, I guess Super Steel Steve's playing Ace of Spades right off the bat. That's about as personal as we can get. So I guess I'm gonna have to log off. Let's see here. Oh man, we've got some other beverage consumers in here. That's good. I have a question. How did you get so handsome? So the truth is that my wife and I use the same brand of makeup. That's the hard and simple truth. You put the right foundation on, use the right eyeliner, exactly the right lighting, and then you make the duck face, and you're pretty on Instagram. That's basically how it works. I'm waiting on a Maximum Para 3. It's driving me crazy. How are you liking yours? I freaking love it. I love this thing. You guys are going to get a review of this tomorrow. You can see that it's just barely kind of starting to try to patina. Not really. Maxim is awesome. I haven't really put it to the test. I said it in the video. I just like that it is Maximate. I'm excited to see it patina. Super Steel Steve kind of reinforced my thoughts on it, made me feel a little bit better about using it. So I'm pretty pumped. What's your most heavy metal knife? It would have been the Praetorian tie. Right now, it's probably the Kaiser XL Sheepdog. This thing is freaking, dude. I mean, this just makes me want to hang a dead cow from the ceiling and, go to town on it. Good thing these live feeds aren't monetized. I still find myself editing what I'm saying. Let's see here. What am I wearing, Joe Frazier? I'm still in my gym clothes. I'm wearing my cutoff. I did change my shorts out to a leotard. That's what I like to wear in the evenings while I sip on Natural Light Natter Days. That's just who I am underneath. Let's see here. Slice Dice says, I fully admit to wearing makeup when I'm on camera. Not on stage, but on camera. Yes, On bad days, I haven't on YouTube though. Oh, isn't that the best being a YouTuber? You don't have to put your face on because nobody can see it. Oh, gosh. That foundation is so hard to peel off. No, in all seriousness, there was a picture of me up on Instagram for a while, and I decided, you know what? It's not. I don't know. I don't know what it was that made me uncomfortable. But the reason Slice Dice is joking around because whenever somebody sees a picture of me for the first time, they always say the same thing. You look exactly like Mark Wahlberg. And that's the first thing Slicey Dicey said, and a million other people said. So truth, I mean, like that's I don't know. I want you guys to just, whoever's in this live feed, knows that now. But I don't necessarily care, if people see my face or not. But I don't want people to judge me, or think differently, if I look different than the way they imagined in my head. Something that's fun about Nick Shabazz is Nick Shabazz looks like whatever the F we want him to look like. And that's kind of fun, and it kind of ruins it for me. Now, this is just my outlook on this. It's kind of weird if all of a sudden there's a face. Now, unless you see that person real soon, like Slice It Dicey, we all know what he looks like. So that's what he looks like in my head. I still find him equally entertaining. But Nick Shabazz, after years and years and years of just assuming he's Batman, if all of a sudden I see his face and he looks like Paul Walker, I'd be bummed out. I'd be like, what? Why? No, I don't want you to look like Paul Walker. I want you to look like Batman, or just the mystery under the Batman mask. So I'm, the truth is I look kind of like Mark Wahlberg, but like Donnie Wahlberg, like Mark Wahlberg's uglier older brother. But my idea is I want people to just whatever they want me to look like in their head. That's it. Again, I was not reading comments. I was freaking looking at the corner of my wall. While you wrestle with yourself in front of me, do I skip leg day? Leg day's tomorrow, and I've put it off once again until Friday. I always tell myself, I'm like, I'm going to do legs on Monday. And then Monday comes around, I'm like, yeah, I'll do shoulders. I'll do legs on Wednesday. And then Wednesday. So tomorrow's leg day. But you do look like Mark Wahlberg. What do you put in your coffee? Usually like diesel and gunpowder is what I mix with my coffee. Like two parts. I'd say like 1 part diesel, 1 part gunpowder, and 1 part coffee. Basically, that's what I consume. Eyeliner accentuates my Sasquatch beard. It does. So you must look like the guy who plays Aquaman, or what's his name from Game of Thrones. That guy is the scariest person that I've ever seen in my entire life. So am I a part of the Funky Bunch? Super Steel Steve, you are definitely a part of the Funky Bunch, man. You are definitely. Joe Frazier, I see Brad Pitt. I wish. I'm not there though. Let's see. I've seen Nick's face. So you know what? I think it's cool that like Nick like makes a joke out of it. And it's like here's what else I think is cool. I think it's cool that Nick makes a joke out of it, but still wants his privacy, and that for the vast majority of the knife community just is totally. They're like, you know what? That's cool. You can have your privacy. Like people don't. Every now and then people ask. But people don't, as far as I know, people aren't like pressuring him like, dude, take off your mask. It's like people get it. It's like, yeah, that's cool. It's kind of fun. Juiced up 25-year-old Mark Wahlberg or 50-year-old juiced up Mark Wahlberg. I'm 32 years old. So in between there. I don't know if juiced up is the right word. I've never used steroids. Donnie Wahlberg. Let's see here. Nick Shabazz looks like the materialization of 1,000 children laughing. What the hell? I don't even know what that means, but that's the hardest I have ever laughed on camera. That was funny. Dad body Aquaman. There you go. Hey man, dad bod is in. Apparently if you work out right now, you're going down the wrong path because nobody cares anymore. Greetings from Thailand. Holy cow. Hey, thanks for tuning in from Thailand. What's up, man? Excuse me. I would love to attempt to pronounce your name, but I can't. But I really appreciate that you're watching from Thailand. That's awesome. Lewis Ward says middle complex, but you often phrase things. Whoops. You often phrase things the way Linus Caldwell, Matt Damon talks in the Ocean series. Isn't he? Matt Damon's kind of an idiot in the Ocean series, isn't he? I guess that makes sense. My wife likes to say, and it's just because Chris Pratt kind of looks like Mark Wahlberg, and my wife hears this all the time. If we go out to eat or something, people will be like, "Oh my gosh, did anybody ever tell you you look like Mark Wahlberg or Chris Pratt or Michael C. Hall?" It's one of those three. And my wife likes to say, no, he resembles Chris Pratt from Parks and Recreation when he was fat and stupid. That's my wife's favorite thing to say. So truthfully, if you could imagine Chris Pratt from before imagine him before the Guardians of the Galaxy when he was just doofy Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec. Honestly, that's what I look like. Let's see here. Gotta run, glad. Hey, Slice It Icy, thanks for coming in, man. We'll see you, buddy. We got to do our collab soon. Anyways, facts. I get hit on like crazy now that I'm fat. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I believe you. And actually, that's rude to say. Super Still Steve, I didn't. Are you joking? I didn't know that you don't look like a fat person. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just looking at your face, you just look like a guy who's just kicking it. You look like a handsome guy is what I'm trying to say. Lewis Ward, I meant that it's sort of a compliment. Hey, all, thanks for the live chat tonight. Hey, Spirited Whiskey, what's up, man? Is Spirited Whiskey, are you Ryan Leitner? Are you the gentleman who won the Medford? Yes. Okay, here's my chance to let everybody know my giveaways are legit because the gentleman who won is in here and has it and can tell you all how much he likes it. I actually mentioned this in another video because Shaker MT or Harry Gage, who is the gentleman who provides a lot of the knives that I'm going to be giving away here soon. If you watch that unboxing, he gave me a new way to select winners because I expressed my concerns to him. I was like, nobody's questioning this yet, but I'm always worried that eventually someone's going to go, how do we know that your giveaways are legit? How do we know? Because you're giving away nice knives. How do we know that you're actually giving these away to people? And I realized that when I do the drawings and I have to cut the video and then seek somebody and then show it, it kind of looks a little iffy. And I was like, I know I'm being honest, but however many hundreds of people, over 1,000 people who watch that, eventually at least one, statistically, at least one person's going to go, wait a second, this is a little fishy. So Harry, who's not in here tonight, said, hey, if you're concerned with that, I've got a new way for you to pick a winner. There's a website. You can do it seamlessly. You can actually select the video on camera. It'll show you exactly how many unique comments there are. So it gets rid of duplicates. And then you can hit another button without cutting the video and it'll show it'll pick a random person from those unique comments and show it on screen all in one take. And I said, perfect. That's exactly how I want to do this. That way nobody's ever concerned. I want you guys, I want this all to always be legit. So that was pretty cool. But anyways, let's see here. Oh, wait. Was I wrong, Spirited Whiskey? Dang it. Okay. Wait. Okay. I guess maybe I was just wrong then. If they don't trust me anyway. That's true. Yeah, but it's like, I know that no matter what I do, there's always going to be skeptics. There's always going to, especially as this channel grows, there's always going to be, somebody being like, this is fake or what are they? Somebody called me this the other day. It was like another word for like a YouTube beggar, because I was asking for, people to join my Patreon and, that's kind of that's the cog of this channel, or the cog system of this channel is that I incentivize giveaways that are free for everybody. by asking people to join my Patreon, and then I use the money that I get from my generous patrons to fuel the channel. So it's essentially a lubricated cog system where everybody is getting something. Whether you're a viewer and you don't want to contribute monetarily, but you're getting the content. People who want to contribute monetarily are doing that and helping me fund the channel, and then also giveaways are available to everybody. There's no matter what, no matter how I build this, there's always going to be somebody or groups of people who are like, this is BS. And so if I can minimize that by just making little things, just like the process for giveaways, look as legitimate as possible, as legitimate as they actually are, then it's helpful. I want to do that. I care about those little tiny things. Let's see here. If they don't trust Harry is currently off playing Fallout 4. Oh man, I wish I had more time to play video games. I am so excited for Borderlands 4. I don't know if you guys or Borderlands 4, Borderlands 3. Sorry, I was thinking Fallout 4 in my head. I'm so excited for that, but I just don't have any time. Don't bother none said I didn't win equals obviously rigged. Spirited Westy says, you did convince me to buy a hand rubbed satin wingman EDC. Yes, you and I were talking about that. That reminds me so much of the Shirogorov Russian Dr. Death. I'd never seen that until you showed it to me. But I was super excited about it. I mean, like I was like, oh, cool. There's this knife I didn't know about, and it looks like a knife that I've been interested in for a long time. Let's see here. Manny Z, I'm late. You're not late. You arrived exactly on time. That's what I like to tell myself whenever I arrive anywhere. It doesn't work. It doesn't work as well when you show up to work at 10:30 in the morning, though. Regardless of however you intended, whatever you say out loud, you intended for timeliness. It turns out if they want you to be there at 8, you have to be there at 8. I'm mostly joking. Let's see. Let me know when you have room in the review schedule, and I'll send it to you. That's really, really generous. I'll say the same thing to you that I always say to Shaker and to Jeff. As long as you handle it first. I feel like the person but Harry and Jeff will send me stuff without them even handling it. And that pains me. It's like, you don't even want to handle it first. Harry offered to send me his Chavez before he even handled it. I said, no, dude, you have got to, that's going to be one of your babies, man. You have to handle that before you send it to me, So as long as you handle it first. Haters are great. Steve is the most armored up person. Listen, I respect, I thought I was good at speaking my mind, but even I'm apprehensive about saying certain things. Here's what I love about Super Steel Steve. That dude will say exactly what he thinks, and he will not say it unless he can absolutely back it up. And if anybody opposes him, he knows 100% that he's in the right before he even started the conversation, started the discussion, because that's what it is. From my perspective, his topics are discussions, and they're backed up by evidence. And that's what I like. It's like, here are the facts, here's the information. I'm going to say this about it. I'm going to be my unedited true self. And if you don't like it, then you can take a hike, or you can drive a probe off a bridge, or whatever. But that's why I like him. That's why I think he's a cool guy. I can tell he's real. I really, really enjoy having conversations with you, Steve. Let's see here. So what was it? I had a question that I wanted to ask. Hey, here's what I want to talk about tonight. This is what we started with, and I never got to talk about it. I want to know the general consensus on the position of zero tolerance knives in the knife community. How do you guys feel? You 34 people who are in here. How do you guys feel about the position of zero tolerance knives versus where they were in 2014, 2015, 2016? I have a video on Saturday where I talk about that, and I talked about it a little bit at the beginning of this video, but I'm legitimately frustrated because I really, really liked ZT. They had some excellent collaborations with, wait a sec, MC Chavez versus Hinderer. Thoughts? Oh boy, I'll get into it. I promise. I'll get into it. That's a hot topic there, Spirited Whiskey. I have very strong emotional feelings on that. We will get into that, I promise. Every year, I like less and less of their offerings. Exactly. So to me, zero tolerance started off as like almost, almost the same kind of position, like almost the same kind of like corniness in tactical as Cold Steel. Then, I mean, obviously, I realized later, like, hey, Cold Steel's got some, really cool designs. Um, and ZT kind of had that same like zero tolerance, yeah, like they kind of like really, really, they were really aggressive looking and crazy, but they also did have some really, really good designs. Um, so, uh, but they backed off a little bit from that, and then it feels like they kind of hit their stride 2013, 2014, especially when they started collaborating with Rick Hinder. But let's think about this. During the peak of zero tolerances, in my opinion, when they were doing their best stuff, they had collaborated with Mick Strider, Les George, who they're still collaborating with, and Rick Hinder, who they're still collaborating with. So I made points in my video. I pointed that out. I said zero tolerance is kind of, some of their best collaborations were with these three makers, and they have moved away from one completely and are backpedaling from these other two. And all three makers have models, in my opinion, that would translate well to ZT's lineup and still hold true to that hard use, hyper tactical, cool look, stylish look kind of thing. I mean, you don't have to fix what isn't broken, and the knife world can't evolve without these manufacturers and and these companies dipping their toes in to the waters of innovation and trying to connect and collaborate with different makers. But sometimes you just go the wrong direction, and I feel like that's what's happening. Zero tolerance has all the capabilities in the world, and they're just kind of, you could just let's do something else. This isn't working, you guys. You made a freaking inch and a half long folder, and nobody likes it. So let's do something else. And they made that one that looks like a folding Tootsie Roll. That the 223 is what, WTF. Let's see here. I have to go back and read things. I'd like to see the review the Wii Roxy 4. I will have to go look at that knife. I will definitely review it if I get an opportunity. They're falling behind. The best decks and Wii's. Yeah. So best deck. Here's the deal, guys. Truthfully, best deck is doing what ZT should be doing right now. If you have never handled a best deck like from their premium line, this feels like a zero tolerance. But their designs are what people want. This knife right here, you can get it in about 6 different configurations, and it's in left and right hand carry. If you didn't watch my review today, this is awesome. It feels like a zero tolerance. It's made in China, but it honestly feels just like a zero tolerance, and they've got a ton of models that are like that. Best Deck is doing it. Zero tolerance needs to step it up if they want to compete with these companies. And I'm kind of being aggressive a little bit because I'm having some beverages here, but yeah, ZT needs to step it up a little bit. That's my thoughts. But I don't want to, I don't want it to be a witch hunt. I don't want to burn them at the stake. I want to be like, hey, come on, I'm throwing my thoughts in. I'm throwing my 2 cents in. I also don't like this. So, me, as far as the metal complex vote goes, is whatever that's worth. I vote nay. Spirited Whiskey, in my opinion, Cold Steel and Riot, we picked up where ZT left off. Definitely. Absolutely. Cold Steel is more and more impressive by the day. And Riot and we have always been impressive. Best Deck stepping it up. Definitely. Kyle Roberts, my only experiences with ZT is handling a few at Blade Show. They're nice, and I've wanted an 0562, but I ended up straight to... listen, if you went straight to the XM18, you got the real deal. The 0562 is an excellent knife. I've owned multiple variants. I'm still considering buying another one for myself, but it'll never be the real thing. You'll always wonder. If you go to the 0562, you'll be happy with it as a tool. You'll appreciate it for what you paid for it, but it'll never quite be the real XM18. It's just one of those things. If you settle for a Chrysler 300C with a Hemi, but you really wanted a Rolls-Royce Phantom, it ain't never going to be a Phantom. That's the way that it is. Let's see here. Glow-in-the-dark scales. Oh, I talked about that in the video. I think the ZT-0393 is one of the very best knives that ZT has ever produced. They messed up the scales because Rick Hinder wanted to do the thing that he did with his Maximus. It looked good on the Maximus. It didn't look good on the 0393. And then they screwed up the whole process as far as the standard production model and what they did with the sprint runs. And it just was dumb. And then they did the glow in the dark scales, which honestly, I think that knife will probably sell for a ton more on the secondary market once they discontinue it. But it's like, what? Why? It glows for like 2 seconds when you shine light on it, and then that's it. So basically, if you lose it and you were just, here's when that's beneficial. If it's high noon and the sun is shining directly at it, and all of a sudden there's a solar eclipse and you drop that knife, you'll be able to find it in a 2-minute window. That's what those are good for. Jake Welsh says, yeah, they're not as good of shape as they were. They had some problems with their S35VN heat treat, but they were in great. They were great for a while. Now they're falling off again. Yeah, absolutely. Cold Steel CPM 20CV is good. I don't know. Steve is the only person in this room that I could say might have an idea on that. Chavez ZT. Actually, I made a comment in my video, and I might be completely alone here, but Zero Tolerance hasn't had a good tactical fixed blade in a while, and I have this ridiculous pipe dream that ZT would collaborate with Medford and do one of their fixed blades. I don't think Medford does collaborations with production companies, but if they did, I'd love to see. Can you imagine those headlines? Medford and ZT collaborative fixed blade. I would be all over that. I wouldn't even care what it would look like. I have a model in mind. I won't ruin it, but I always thought that would be fun. Stats 23, I think their bread and butter is Kershaw by far as profits. Yeah, you're probably right. Kershaw, the community, I think, is generally in agreement with Kershaw. They make good, dependable, low-cost tools. They've got some Chinese models that are bleh, but I mean, as far as like companies that make Chinese knives, there's definitely worse ones. Gerber. As far as Kershaw goes, they've got some of the lowest cost, highest quality USA knives that are out there. I really like Kershaw, definitely. The 0562 Ti is the peak of Zero Tolerance. I agree with you. I say that in the video tomorrow or on Saturday, actually. I'm not sure they will ever release a model at the 0562's level again. If they do, it'll be another Hinder collaboration, which I also bring up in the video. Jake Welch, you're a smart guy for how young you are. And I'm saying that because you think like me. So what I'm really saying is that I think I'm really smart. But yeah, Jake, you and I think alike, definitely. If they do, it'll be another Hinder collaboration. I really hope that Rick Hinder continues to work with Zero Tolerance. Yeah, the 223 is a jank looking knife, definitely. What does everyone think of ZT's heat treat issues and lock issues? Fact or fiction? So I don't know anything about the heat treat issues, but I will say that I think that the lock face geometry issues are completely blown out of proportion. I have owned an enormous amount of ZTs. I've owned as many Zero Tolerance knives as I have Rick Hinder knives, and I have used them substantially more than I have my Rick Hinders, as much as I have my Spydercos, and I have never had a lock face geometry issue. My take is, if you're using any knife the way that it's intended to be used and you're putting pressure on the points of the blade that are intended to have pressure applied to them, the knife is not going to fail if it's a frame lock, liner lock, whatever lock. If you are shooting the knife with a bazooka or putting the knife in a vise and hitting it with a pipe wrench, then it's probably going to fail. But is that a lock face geometry issue? No. Now, do I think that there are anomalies and isolated incidents? Yes. Do I think that people are more likely to put those isolated faults on camera? Yes. And in that situation, what you have is an epidemic. And in this case, the epidemic was where we're getting this information. I honestly think that it was just poison, spreading poison, and it was an unfortunate situation. I think any frame lock has roughly the same chance to fail, and whatever company has, if it just so happens that there's a few more videos out there by happenstance of a certain manufacturer having an issue with a frame lock, then all of a sudden it's just like a wave, it's just like a dry field catching on fire, and everyone's like, oh no! It's not really like that. Honestly, that's my honest take on that. Let's see. How far back am I? Oh my gosh, I'm so far back. I'm so sorry. I have to skip a bunch of comments. Um, Shame about the Medford no collab thing because I'd take a hunk of steel just for novelty if it wasn't ridiculously expensive. Agreed. How cool would it be to see Medford collaborate with ZT and we could get one of their ridiculous $600 to $800 fixed blades for like 150, just scaled down, of course, or maybe 200. I'd go for that. With Kershaw bringing out D2 and M390, the money is better spent here. Yeah, I agree. They have an $80 M390 knife. I can't remember what it is. So tell the truth, MC. You hate the CKG 20. What is the CKG 2019? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's Shaker. Shaker, what's up, man? We've been talking about your super duper cool 229 that I have very strong feelings about and might attempt to purchase a version of for myself down the road. What is a small knife to the left of the Spider Monkey? This little guy. This is the this is the oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it. It's called the ODT. It's the Curtis Knives ODT. It's a little tiny custom chisel flipper thing that requires wrist, but it is on bearings. It is very, very well made, but just because of the dimensions of it, you have to kind of kick it out. This was a gift from Jeff Goodnow. Super cool gift. I love that little thing. Would love to see versions of the Hinder or Ranch Bowie under $200 so you can beat on it with it. Yeah, oh, fantastic. God dang it, I should have put that in there. That's a great idea. The Ranch Bowie, a collaborative effort between ZT and Hinder doing the Ranch Bowie. Absolutely, it's a fantastic idea. The ZT 562 blade scratch is easy. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think just about any blade scratch is easy. You know, the only blades that I've ever used that don't scratch easily are the Spyderco, the DLC coated ones, the tungsten DLC coating. That seems to hold up pretty well. Let's see here. And it's not necessarily because it's soft. Honestly, I know my Doug Ritter RSK MK1 G2 is heat treated well, and that M390 is supposed to be at right about 60, and it scratches pretty easily. I don't know that that's the case. I mean, it depends on, it's a simple matter, and Steve can correct me if I'm wrong. If whatever you're pushing on creates the pressure between those two objects, either the object itself is harder than steel or the pressure created between the two objects creates hardness that's hard enough to create some sort of abrasion on the steel, then it'll leave a mark. Sometimes it's the pulverized material against your blade and it's not actually a scratch and it can be scrubbed out, or sometimes it's a scratch and oh well, F it, you just keep using it because it's a knife. Stonewash always helps. That's why stonewash is my favorite finish. Was supposed to take my Ranch Bowie camping this weekend, but new job and working Saturdays ruined my plans. Here, I'm happy to still be keeping it in unused condition. I hear you. If I was gonna blow big money on a fixed blade right now, it would be the Ranch Bowie. That thing is sick, and it's in 3V. And I'm gonna guess Rick Hinderer did the heat treat correctly. Unlike Benchmade with their 56 Rockwell on 3V. I love 3V, and I've got a soft spot in my heart for Benchmade, but WTF, what was going on with that? Oh my gosh, I'm getting so preachy and opinionated tonight, like I'm taking myself seriously. What's going on? Yeah, you guys should all follow Shaker MT on Instagram. That dude has way less followers than he should actually have. If you can't find him, or if you go to my channel, look at any of my pictures and look down in the comment section, you can find him pretty easily. Follow him. This guy and Jeff basically fuel my entire channel. They definitely deserve followers. Absolutely. Kyle Roberts, you should see how slicey the Ranch Bowie, second in my collection. Only the Manix 2. Really? Is the Ranch Bowie 187 thousandths or is it a 1/4 inch on the spine? I'm just curious. I imagine it has quite a ways to taper before the cutting edge. But I don't know what the spine thickness is. Super Steel Steve says, "Oh, I got my Benchmade bailout for my toughness test back from Rockwell, 56. Ouch, ouch. 3V does not. 3V is a prestigious enough steel that it really shouldn't be having to deal with numbers like that. I feel bad for 3V in general. Too few followers and too much spare change. Neves Knife says figures, and I like Benchmade too. I do. I like Benchmade. They catch a bunch of crap for their, they overcharge for stuff. But you know what? The Axis lock is a good design. And as far as the Omega Spring thing, well, Omega Springs can break. Yeah, they can, but it's pretty rare. Personally, I've never had an Omega Spring break. I like the idea of the Axis lock, and I'll tell you, honestly, my experience with Benchmade in the last 5 or so that I've handled, I think they might be getting the quality control thing figured out. That might be going away, Now, if they could just figure out that they can't charge us $220 for aluminum and S30V, come on. That's kind of ridiculous, but their best price knife right now is the Super Freak, by the way. If you want to know what I think of Benchmade's best knife out there for the money, it's the Super Freak. Multi-layer G10 with the red liners underneath. You got the red standoffs. You got CPM M4. Good fit and finish. It looks to be an updated model. Good action. Very capable. $190. I think it's close to a good price. $175 and they'd be perfect, but I'm not going to get upset about $15. Total noob question. Could you reharden a blade? I don't know if you can. Steve might be able to answer that. I'm not somebody who can answer that. Neve says I'm going to buy some extras. Get them about $6 a piece. Oh, really? You can buy extra Omega Springs on Amazon? That's really cool. You guys should totally put that in a video and spread that around, because I didn't know that. I don't even own a Benchmade right now. I mean, I own the Hogue Ritter, but I would buy extras for sure. Let's see. I love that Steve's thing is just balls. I love that. That's so funny. Steve Kluver, did I hear someone in here mention the Super Freak? That was me. What's up, Steve? I think Steve is one of my most ancient viewers. If I remember correctly, Steve, you were around when I only had 500 subs. I remember that Robot Chicken logo, man. Ashkin, I have a grip that is solid, and the price I think is reasonable, but I could see the argument for the Super Freak. I think the grip is reasonable. Here's the best thing about the grip. The grip is one of the most customizable knives that are out there. If you have never experienced the Benchmade Griptilian, buy the standard version, which now comes in S30V and FRN, and then immediately purchase some aftermarket scales and whatever custom parts you want, and spend whatever money you need to on it, because you can make it absolutely exactly the way that you want it. You'll have a perfect piece. That's the best thing about the Griptilian. I've had many custom grips. That, and it's actually a very functional tool. Would you like to review my Ranch Bowie? Ooh, Kyle Roberts, I would like to review that Ranch Bowie. Please send me a message on Instagram if you have it. If not, you can email me at metalcomplex87@gmail.com. Thank you very much. We will talk further about that. Let's see here. Steve, yeah, buddy. Hood King, what's up, dude? What is up, man? Yeah, Steve, I kind of thought that you were around from the very beginning. Maybe it was even before. Maybe it was like my first 100 subs. Back when I was just some guy working at a dealership, not working, sitting in one of the vehicles on the lot and just doing a review. I was really good friends with all of my bosses. I had 8 bosses, and I worked there long enough to I got to the point where I kind of just did whatever I want. And I would do my knife reviews in those vehicles on the lot. That's just what I did. Let's see here. Still hate that Benchmade charges as much as they do and won't throw a code for a free deep carry clip in the box retail. Yeah, they will send you a deep carry clip, though, if you just call them afterwards and be like, well, at least in my experience, I'm always just like, I don't like this clip. Can you send me a deep carry clip? And they will. Sorry. Oh, my gosh. Guys, we're going to have to cut this short because my wife is calling and I have to answer that. And we're going on 50 minutes here as it is. So I'm so sorry. We got to cut this short, but I got it, priorities. So this was really fun. I had a blast talking with you guys. This is I've never had 50 people in here at once, so this was the biggest one. I appreciate you guys hanging out. There is a ton of stuff coming this weekend. I hope you guys tune in. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Have a wonderful evening and have a wonderful weekend.